how's it going? I'm Zero.
I'm DK.
And I'm Rizzo, and today in Anime Reaction, we watched the 6th episode of the 2nd season of Kono Subarashii! If you want to check out our reaction to the 6th episode of the 2nd season of Kono Subarashii, hit that link in the description below.
And be sure to give us feedback in the comments section because we love hearing from you.
And as always, if you like what you see, subscribe to Otaku Saga, and don't forget to like and share our videos.
And thanks for watching. So, in this episode of Kono Subarashii,
We started off completely wrong. We thought Veneer died.
yeah,
That we did.
yeah. So we see in a flashback after the first part, which we'll explain later, because it's easier to explain this like this. So we see in a flashback that Kazuma and Darkness are going to Wiz's shop so that they can inform her that they killed the dude.
Killed
Veneer. And as soon as they have this heartfelt moment, and
they're about to
way too
give
serious
Wiz some
for
bad
the
news, and you know what that means in Konosuba. You're going to be let down.
They open the door and Veneer is there, working in Wiz's shop.
With a caveat.
They did kill him.
Yes, you
But
see
only
the
one of his
numeral
lives.
2 on his forehead, so this is Veneer's second life.
I wonder
And
how
What
many
is he, a
lives
fucking cat?
Maybe.
wonder how many extra lives he has.
Depends on how many one-ups he's gotten over his life.
Probably a lot. But yeah, so the Darkness gets embarrassed because Veneer's making fun of the heartfelt moment that they had right
It's
outside.
like, yeah, we shared bodies and wreaked havoc. I didn't hate him. And then Harry is just mocking her, and poor Darkness
Oh,
goes
by
to
the way-
Who was it who spouted these embarrassing lines with the wind blowing?
And oh, by the way, you're assuming my gender.
Ouch.
Demons don't have genders.
Anyway, so after that, we learn that Veneer had a business proposition for Kazuma because he knows that Kazuma is from another world. And his business proposition is to develop things from Kazuma's world and sell them in this one. So the first thing that we see, which is at the beginning of the episode, is a KOTATSU.
KOTATSU. Good job.
Which is probably one of the first things that I would create too, especially in the dead of winter, in a very cold mansion.
Yeah, I feel like, like the first Japanese thing in that situation. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But so in the beginning of the episode, excuse me, Darkness and Megumin are trying to force Aqua to go outside, and she doesn't want to go because she's sitting by the fire and it's warm.
Right.
And then you get the funny scene where they're like, well, at least you're not that. And look over their shoulders.
And all you see is Cosmo's face.
Yeah, it's just Kazuma with his head poking out of the KOTATSU.
But you can't even, at that point, you can't even see that it's a KOTATSU until, like, they get back to their banter and Kazuma chimes in, you know, why you gotta stoop so low as to call me that? Or, you know, stuff like that. And then you get a nice pan-up shot.
Yeah, and it's Kazuma with his head sticking out of the KOTATSU, and then
You got Jamosuke chilling on top of it, too.
yeah. But yeah, basically from what I can tell, there's like a magic stone in there instead of an electric heater. But I'd
So
totally
deaf.
be chilling in there too.
Then that leads to a hilarious scene of Darkness and Megumin trying to drag Kazuma out. Oh, my
Yeah,
God.
so he keeps using magic to deter them.
Yeah, it puts a free spell on Darkness's neck, and then does the drain touch on Megumin, and just him like doing a sort of demonic like pose with the heat radiating from the magic stone. Right? And that's just kind of
Kazuma Kotetsu, the ultimate boss.
the final boss.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you will never defeat me. And then he stops and, wait a minute. Hey, do you think you could pick up the pad underneath this KOTATSU and carry me to the bathroom?
Which first they do. The destination changes rapidly.
Yes. So they pick him up and toss him out the window.
And he flies so much, I think they just showed him a whole new world.
Oh yeah, I also have to point out that he used the drain touch on Megumin.
Remember that later, kids.
Remember that for later. So after that, they all decide to go out, and instead of going to the guild, they go to a armor and weapons shop because Kazuma had ordered a new sword and a new set of armor, full plate.
The sword, fantastic. It's a traditional katana. He described to the smith how to make it.
I'm wondering what's going on with that sword, because there's scenes where it's definitely a katana, then there's some scenes where it looks more like a wakizashi, and then there's scenes where it looks more like I think it's a tanto.
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 The short one.
It's pulling a reverse Gamagori.
Yeah. It seems to get shorter.
Yeah,
But,
kind of odd.
And it's actually noted upon, so...
Yeah, it's actually noted upon, so it's not like
Yes,
an
it makes
animation
a note
error,
of it.
like they did it on purpose.
Yeah. So you think that is an actual... They're using a prop as a fourth wall joke?
Maybe.
I mean, the possibility's there, I think.
But yeah, so he ordered the katana from the guy. I'm kind of wondering how it actually is, because the guy didn't really understand all the folding and hardening techniques necessary to make a katana, but...
Because there's a lot that goes into making a katana, like a traditional katana. The hardening process with the clay tempering and...
Well, even getting the initial, ingot of steel to make it with, it's a lot different than what, more Western smiths around medieval times.
Because they really use a lot of smaller chunks.
Well, it's because the Japanese iron is how do I want to put it? It's got a lot of impurities. So most of the techniques that they're using are strictly for the purpose of getting rid of impurities.
Yeah, I mean, even like I said, making the initial ingot, they put it in a furnace, I believe called a tatara, for 3 days straight.
Yeah.
And make this huge chunk, and then that gets broken off in good pieces with high iron, carbon content, and whatnot, are sent off to the smith, and then they beat the impurities out over a period of several months.
Yep.
So,
Heating and hammering and folding.
Then drawing out
and folding and all that.
Ad nauseum.
But the one thing that I did want to address more on top of the katana is the armor.
Oh, God.
So, the armor, brightly colored, looks whorish, if not
It's
extravagant.
very garish.
It
Yes.
suits Kazuma, though. It would suit Kazuma if the poor bastard could walk in it.
Now, I have a problem with that. Because if he can't walk in it, that only means that suit of armor was not designed correctly. Because a proper suit of armor may weigh up to 45 pounds, but because of how it's dispersed across the body, you could do damn near anything in it.
You could still move around.
I know somebody who could parkour in a suit of armor.
I think this is Konosuba, and we're thinking too hard.
I know this is Konosuba, and you're thinking too hard.
They clearly made it for a joke, but
Yeah, they
I
want
know,
to show that
but
Kazuma's
it's
a weakling.
well, not necessarily. I mean, he is the strongest physical attacker in their party, since Darkness can't hit anything. And the other two are magic users.
Which is why I have a very big problem with that scene. Because that armor should not have done that, period, dot, end of story.
At the very least, Kazuma should be able to walk in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, they're just using it for a gag, though.
I know. It just
It
bothers me that thing is a joke when it really... I can see why it's a joke, but it's when you actually think about it even slightly too much. It's absurd and kind of loses its charm for me.
I think you take armor too seriously. Excuse me.
Well,
yeah, I think it also, like, as a story piece, it also shows why Kazuma is still fighting in his, like, initial gear. Because he can't really wear plate. And I'd imagine in a world like this that's basically an RPG, you probably need some sort of proficiency, too.
See, if that was more explained, then I wouldn't mind that. But anybody can wear a suit of armor. That's kind of how it's designed. Anybody should be able to wear it, and like even the ones that were made by the Japanese, it was really tailored to a person. And the reason why I have a problem with it is because it was a Western suit of armor, or a European suit of armor that is being stereotypically told to be too heavy. Which is not really the case, because those two suits of armors from Japan and the European were basically the same weight.
I still think you're thinking about it too hard.
Yeah, that may be true. It's something that I don't like to be.
It can't be ignored though. That armor was pretty garish looking.
Yeah, I'm actually really glad that they decided to make it into a joke and not have him wear it, because it looked like crap.
I kind of would have preferred if he wore it and people were making fun of him for it.
Yeah, right. Just have him walking down the street, maybe a little awkwardly, but yeah, I feel kind of like.
Yeah, I think if he was going to go for armor at all, he should probably do some chainmail. Maybe some plates over
leather,
the top.
I think he should kind of keep it light, because I mean, yeah, he's technically kind of a multi-classer, but his kit layout, screams thief or rogue.
Yeah,
I think that suits him best, honestly.
or a multi-class ranger.
Yeah,
Ranger,
yeah,
that's a go.
Yeah, Ranger is kind of
That's true.
what I think. So let's see. After that, so they go to the guild. Oh, I do want to point out that the sword needs to be named, and there's a talisman to name it. And I think Kazuma's a fucking idiot, because if it were me, I would have had a name picked out already. Especially since, like, he went, like, months ago to get this sword made for him. But it's part of the... Yeah, it's Kono Subarashii, and it's part of the joke. So he's sitting around, him and Megumin are having lunch, and he's thinking about the name for it. And then the other two say, "Hey, there's this great quest. Come on, let's go take this quest." And the quest is to, I guess, kill the alpha male and female for a group of giant lizards. And
They pretty much get to play cock blockers.
yeah, pretty much. And so while Kazuma is talking, okay, so while the chick that runs the guild, I can't remember her name, but while she's talking, Kazuma puts his finger on her lips to shut her up, and then has this little almost heroic speech, and then he's like, me. And then he's like,
My partner.
Yeah, me and my partner.
The new sword.
And then
Throws off two random names.
Yeah.
And Megumin comes out with what was it?
Chuchumaru.
Chuchumaru.
The sword's name is Chuchumaru.
What? No, that's stupid.
Who would name us that?
And then she already wrote it on the talisman and stuck it to the sword, so it burns into the sword, and forever its name is Chuchumaru. And then he's despairing about it. If I actually use this sword to defeat the Demon King, then this sword is going to sit in a museum, and the tag's going to read Chuchumaru. Yeah. It is a ridiculous name, but it's so in keeping with the, the Red Crimson...
Red Crimson, the Crimson Demons.
Yeah, Crimson Demons.
Inability to come up with cool names.
Well, just their strange naming conventions. Which I do want to point out that we get to see during the preview section when Union, also a weird name, is writing a letter back home to, I forget what the names were, but they were ridiculous. So they accept the quest. They go out to the location. There's a giant tree, so Kazuma goes up in the tree with his bow and arrow, and he comes up with the plan. So he's going to use a snipe ability to snipe the alpha female and the alpha male, and then the rest of the lizards should disperse. Should work out that way. Or if they don't disperse, then Darkness will hold them back, and then Megumin will use her explosion to take them out.
Take out the group.
Yeah, and that should work, right? Right? No, this is Kono Suba.
Of course, Aqua's gonna get in the way and fuck it all up.
And she does.
Useless goddess strikes again.
Yeah. Well, okay. So Kazuma's like looking at the lizards, and he can tell clearly which one's the alpha female because it's a completely different color, but he can't really tell the alpha male. And so Aqua's like, "Oh, I'll just shoot up my firework ability, and whichever one runs over here the fastest is the alpha male." Boom! Without even asking anybody else.
The entire horde stops what they're doing.
Yeah, they're like...
And since they all look like the Dilophosaurus, if you've seen Jurassic Park, the really frilly
there's
neck
an actual
one.
lizard, the
Actually, that's
the
called
Jesus lizard, the ones that runs across water.
Oh, right. Actually, I think they're called a frilled neck lizard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should be native
So
to
that's
Australia,
basically
right?
what they are, yeah.
Just giant versions of them.
Yeah. They all stop. They start running in. It's like, well, oh shit.
Aqua, always maintaining uber aggro.
You useless goddess!
So, I mean, what happens then? Well, Megumin's like, I'll go ahead and take care of this one.
No magic power, because remember earlier in the episode, Kazuma drained it from her, so she can't even use her explosion magic.
Vintage Kono Suba.
So then they're running, and Kazuma takes out the lead male because they think that it's the... Well, it probably is the alpha male.
Yeah, the fast.
Whatever the hell they called it, like something, runner king or something like that.
But
That's runner king.
you forgot one crucial detail about this.
If you take out the alpha male, then all the other males get excited because now the alpha male slot is open. So he just made them even more excited.
And what happens next? Darkness gets ran over. Her wall, the idea that she was gonna hold back this entire horde was completely no.
One thing this little adventurers group always fails to recognize: physics.
Yeah. And then the horde overtakes Aqua, who's just laying on the ground.
Oh, after throwing a tantrum.
Oh, she's so dumb. Help me! Help me! And she doesn't even like try to get up and run or anything. Just help me!
She's just oh my god.
But the entire horde decides to come back around, and the princess lizard runner sees Kazuma up in the tree and decides that she's going to leap up into the air and drop kick a motherfucker.
So, in an excellent example of animation in this series, Kazuma snipes her right out of the air. Unfortunately, he forgot the physics.
Yes,
Again.
She's dead, but still coming at him at pretty high speed.
Crashes straight into the tree that he's in.
Cuts out to the tree and you just see a
With like an entire group of lizard lizard runners surrounding the tree, just watching.
Yeah. And then so he slips out of his perch, falls directly to the ground head first, probably like 30 feet or so.
Yeah.
And then he wakes up and he's face to face with Eris.
Because he broke his neck.
Because he broke his neck and died. So he has a little chat with Eris whilst Aqua heals his body.
Realizes
resurrection.
that's
Then
what he's been missing in his life.
Yes, he needs a nice girl
A sensible girl.
to be his heroine.
And wouldn't you know it, he has an epiphany. My heroine's been hidden here the entire time!
Yep, so he has a nice chat with Eris.
That
I
gets
do want to kind of point out, Eris. So he says it must be boring being in this blank room all the time, and Eris says that she goes down to the world sometimes. So
Is there hope of an encounter? Perhaps that's not in the heavenly realm.
I wonder if we've seen her already.
A very strong possibility.
indeed.
But our discussion here gets painfully interrupted by Aqua.
It's okay. I've cast resurrection. You can come back now. Then Cosmo thinks about it for a while. No, I'm okay. I'm gonna be reborn as a baby.
Well, that's what he thinks. But then, oh god, it just gets worse.
Yeah, basically.
They're trying to bring him back and using every lowbrow trick in the book.
Yeah. So, what did Darkness do? Because Darkness.
So yeah, Aqua's like, Darkness has a marker. She's about to write something on your face, and she looks really excited.
And then you hear, oh, Megumin, what are you doing? What are you doing to Kazuma's clothes?
What? Why are you doing Megumin? Megumin! Which
You shouldn't mess with a dead body. It's bad luck.
Bad karma.
Bad karma.
that obviously is gonna get Cosma going.
And then Kazuma changes his mind and says, okay, open the portal, let me go back.
Necrophilia, yeah. Definitely scary enough to bring Cosmo back from the dead.
Yep.
And then what I can only imagine is like a. I'm not sure how to describe it, but Eris was like, "I'll pray that you never come back here again." Yeah, that was interesting. Not sure how I feel about that, but yeah, Cosmo's last words to Eris. I don't mind if they're padded.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, because the whole time.
Yeah, while Kazuma's thinking, yeah, Aqua's like, she actually pads her bra, right? They're not actually that big.
So, while Cosmo is like trying to describe the ideal life he wants to be reborn in, to Eris, Aqua's just going off on this tirade and just roasting Eris.
Yeah. But,
poor girl.
But yeah, so he comes back, and Megumin is sitting on his stomach with the most adorable crying face because she's upset that he was planning on not coming back. She was adorable. But then she gets up and everything kind of it doesn't appear to be normal because
it was far too calm.
We get Darkness to the side, completely embarrassed, and then Aqua also like.
She says it perfectly. As a sacred goddess, I cannot explain what happened.
Yeah, basically alluding to the fact that Megumin did something not appropriate to Kazuma. And so they go throughout the day, and they go back to the mansion, and apparently Megumin had gone to stay at Union's because of what she did. And we find out because Kazuma goes to take a bath, and discovers it,
and then
storms out to go find Megumin.
Where the hell is Megumin?
In his towel, and that basically he's standing in front of the other two, and then it finally shows his front, and written on his stomach with an arrow pointing down, it says "Holy Sword Excalibur."
But then the towel falls off.
And then you get the view from the back again, and the towel falls off, and you just see Aqua. Ouch.
Ouch.
Two things about this, though. One, if a girl ended up calling my sword Excalibur,
Just remember that Megumin and Kazuma have bathed together before, so she did know when she wrote on there just how big it was.
I wouldn't mind it whatsoever.
Right.
The fact that it's there in ink just screams out to the world that someone thought, or
I still think Megumin was being sarcastic.
well, yeah, but
No.
Excalibur is a legendary sword.
That's true. And actually, well, to be fair, Excalibur is not the biggest sword in fiction, but it gets the job done.
But it is one of the best.
It is one of the best.
Just saying.
It still takes a long time.
And when you
to get
first
their
see
friends
it,
in the rowboat.
and when you first see it, it's already in a lady's hand.
True,
So,
true.
yeah.
Still takes a long time to get the friends in the rowboat.
Anyway. So that was the episode. Next episode should be an episode, if I had to guess, it probably focuses around Megumin, Yun, and then we also see Wiz in the preview, I believe. We at
Looks
least
like.
we at least see Veneer. I think you're right, and it was Wiz, but I'm not sure. Just yeah. So,
But
anyway.
And Aqua
Yeah,
has a big time ocean
the
face.
name is an invitation for this knucklehead.
Yeah, an invitation for this knucklehead.
Which one?
Yeah, gonna have to be specific in this series. But yeah, this episode was really, really funny.
Oh my god, yes.
It was probably for me the funniest episode out of the second season so far.
Just because the big time punchlines really do come out of nowhere. So like Cosma in this demon form under the Kotatsu, or Aqua gazing upon Excalibur.
Or the paused face.
Oh yes, the pause of the eye catch. They did that a couple times in season 1.
Yeah, where basically you get Aqua screaming her head off, and then it pause,
Pause.
unpause. I mean, that's hilarious. It's
Kono Subarashii eye catches. They're
it's just
grade
awesome.
A, awesome.
So
But also, I gotta say, the fight scenes, the fight scene with the lizard runners too, and Cosmo with the snipe skill, that was cool.
yeah, there was a few points in the episode where you could tell that they either they purposely did it or they redirected the money for the animation to other parts of the episode. Because most of that scene with Aqua right after she fires off the firework, and she's freaking out because she fucked up again.
Yeah.
That scene was really wonky animation. Really, really wonky animation. But then you get the scene with Kazuma with his bow and arrow.
Just smooth.
And it's so smooth and almost perfect.
I don't know. I would like to think that Aqua's sort of wonkiness during her little tirade was more of an artistic choice.
Kind of like the choice with Kazuma in the Kotatsu, because you had the weird arm animation, like when he did the fucking freeze. Yeah.
Oh yeah, basically his arm turned into a snake.
Yeah.
Freeze.
And then that actually hurt my hand.
And then he's doing the finger things before he says he has to go to the bathroom. But he's
And
doing
then whipping his hand out and grabbing Megumin. It was an interesting animation choices for sure. But yeah.
So far,
incredibly funny episode.
Definitely a very, very enjoyable episode. But let us know what you thought of anime, what you thought of our reaction in the comment section below.
Yep, thumbs up if you like it, thumbs down if you don't.
But that's going to do it for this episode of Anime Reaction. As always, I'm DK.
I'm Zero.
And I'm Rizzo.
See you next time.
And go ahead and click on my face to go to our most recent Otaku Saga talks.
Click on my face to go to Otaku Saga Gaming, our gaming channel.
And click on the waifu to subscribe to Otaku Saga. And if you'd like to help support us, go ahead and check out our Patreon page.
Oh, wait, this is Kono Subarashii.